times. Some do. Now, I'm not going to say that that's not true because some do, but most don't, especially when we're dealing with something very chronic. We've got to have that many sessions to be able to open everything up, to be able to get everything flowing and moving. Then we see the really cool stuff start to happen because now the oxygen and blood flow and the light is able to get into those areas that it couldn't get into. And then we get to see the real repair and regeneration start to happen. It's very fascinating.
You know, I went in last week and honestly that was on my mind. I'm like, what can I expect to happen for me after one session?
Right.
And what you're saying kind of makes sense to me because I experienced some things, but I was like waiting for that big wow moment, and I was like, well, I didn't really get one yet.
Yeah.
But it was one time. I will tell you this. The word chamber scared me. Hyperbaric chamber. I thought, oh, they're going to put me in this metal thing, and they're going to, you know, the big old handle thing, and they're going to lock me in. It was a tent, and it was not scary at all. And I was a little bit nervous about being closed in a chamber, not knowing what it was. Yeah. And I got in this tent, and it was actually a really fun and relaxing and amazing experience. And you talked about the light. I have a sore back. Put it on my back. Man, my back felt so good for the next awesome. 24, 48 hours. It was amazing.
Thank you for sharing that because that's true. And I would love to have some kind of a program that we change the word chamber. But unfortunately, that's the industry.
That's a scary word, isn't it?
It is a scary word. And people ask me all the time, I said, have you ever been camping? Have you been in a tent? Exactly. That's what it's like. That's the ones that we do. We don't do the big metal lock you in chambers, you know, which there's a place for those, absolutely. But luckily, it's really kind of cool because I've been explaining how I've been able to just get back from working with 11 of the top doctors in the world in January. I got to go do a seminar with them. And it was really fun for me because a lot of those use the big metal chambers. Some of them have now gone back to the tent chambers or the soft side mild chambers like I have.
Oh, the balloon room.
The balloon room. Ooh, we blow things up. Oh no, I have to be told I can't use that blow things up because that's not good. Inflate things.
There you go.
We inflate things. But the cool thing about all of that was listening and talking and having these incredible mentors that I get to work with telling me about what they're doing at their very big, very, very expensive clinics. And I'm looking at them going, I'm getting the same results. So having these conversations with them with the combination of what we do, the lights are huge. That is a huge part of what we do. And to be able to put them on like on your back, right? So what that's doing is dilating those blood vessels. When those open and then you saturate them, just saturate them with hyperbaric oxygen, they can get in there and they can repair and regenerate that body. And you just said a very key word because you heard that, you felt it for 24, 48 hours. That's exactly the effect that hyperbaric has. That's why it's vital if we are working with somebody that has a chronic back injury or cerebral palsy or anything like that. That's why you have to do it on a consistent basis because you have to have that open so that it can repair and regenerate. If you don't and you only come a little bit here and a little bit there after 48 hours or 72 hours, it's going to go back and close off, right? And it hasn't had time to repair and regenerate. So thank you for bringing that up. That is exactly why we put people on these very, very intense programs because we've got to open those tissues so that the body can repair and regenerate.
I will tell you this too, it wasn't scary. I thought it was going to be scary. It was not scary. If you're thinking about trying it, let me tell you, you know, you go there with all these thoughts at chamber, you know, and isn't that kind of like a torture chamber? You know, and it's not. You go there, and first of all, your people that helped me out were amazingly helpful.
Thank you.
I don't know what you call we call it the jiggle machine.
Yeah, the vibration plate.
Yeah,
which
vibration
totally jiggles
plate,
you.
Jiggle machine. My wife was twerking there for a minute on her jiggle machine. I think. I don't know what that. I'm not sure what that is, but and everybody was just so kind and helpful, and you know, I think they sensed that I was a little apprehensive, but it was an amazing experience.
Thank you so much. I really do have a fantastic staff. They're wonderful. They have all been hyperbaric trained. They've all been trained in everything that we do. They're certified, so we have the best of the best. And they really try to make you feel comfortable when you get there because they've all had the experience. That's part of their training. They have to go through the experience as well. so that they understand what our clients are going through, because everybody is different. Everybody has got a different story. And we just want to make sure that people get in there, and where else can you go that you get the permission to take an hour nap, right?
That's right.
I mean, there's not, if you go to physical therapy, they're not going to let you take a nap, right?
They're going to beat on you.
Or they are going to beat on you. So what you get to do is go sleep. I mean, sleep is where the body repairs, right? Sleep and relaxation is where the body repairs. Yeah. And I'm probably not the very best at that, because when I get in there, that's where I do my online things. I do my computer, and I'm doing my Facebook live feeds, and I have been told that I need to practice what I preach and sleep. It's like, it's quiet time. It's quiet time. But one thing people don't realize is you can take your electronics in.
And that was the other thing I was going to bring up, Stephanie, was I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go on just a pair of shorts, and I'm not going to have anything with. Hey, I had some cough drops I took in with me.
Perfect.
To keep my throat moist, and then we got to bring our phones in and do some things on Facebook and whatever while we were in there. I had no idea I could do all this. It was great.
Yeah, and if you go into the deep chambers, or the metal chambers, you cannot do that. So a lot of times people will read about different things that happen in hyperbaric. That is not what happens in ours. Ours goes at 1.3 atmospheres. We use concentrated oxygen, so we're not using the canistered oxygen. So there is literally no danger in there. And we love for people to take their devices in. If they can listen to some meditation music or some wonderful calming music, or the kids, we have a lot of kids that come in with autism. Oh my gosh, to be able to see these kids with autism reverse and come alive is just the coolest thing. And our cerebral palsy kids, anytime we get kids in there, we've got some small people in there right now that have got seizures, that we're working on the seizures, that have gone from very rapid seizures that have been almost consistent to now they're at 5-10 minutes between seizures. You know, when you're getting them every 30 seconds, to go 5 or 10 minutes between amazing. A seizure is huge, right?
Do you remember Charles?
Oh, yes.
Yes. I referred him to you guys.
Yes.
And I know the family, and they told us that after Charles did hyperbaric, probably his 20th time, they were at dinner, and Charles picks up a fork and starts eating, and everybody's like, what happened? What's he doing? And they said they were all bawling and everything because Charles was now feeding himself, and he hadn't done that before really well at all. And Charles had no idea. He just was being normal.
That just gave me goosebumps.
So it was pretty neat to hear that story about Charles, who was a boy with autism. He had suffered strokes at birth and stuff, and so it was quite a change for him.
Thank you. You know, it's so funny because those of us that haven't gone through this or don't even have children that have gone through this, we just take those little things for granted, don't we? So much. I remember my very, very first cerebral palsy client that I had. He was 15, and the mother said, I just want to hear his voice. I want to hear his voice, and I'd love to get him potty trained. Those were her two requests. He's 15 years old. And by the time we got done with him, it was really kind of cool because they had done 40 sessions, and she didn't see quite what we were hoping to see, even though his body was changing hugely. And somebody wonderful donated some other money so that they were able to continue doing another 20 sessions. And by the time he got done with that, he got out of the chamber at about 30 sessions, and he looked over at me and he goes, hey, love you. I about fell to the floor. Wow. His mom looked at him, and that was the first words she had ever heard him say. And he directed them at me. I mean, this is why we do this.
This is a good bad thing, right? Because Mom...
I know, she's like, did he just say... I'm like, did you just say that? And he said it to me again. And from that point on, every day, that's what he would tell me. So coming from 0 words, this child had 0 words. To the time we got done, he had about 36 words unprompted that he was saying. And he was standing there, and all of a sudden, he hunched over and he grabbed his stomach, and his mom looks at him. She goes, what's wrong, or what's hurting? And his eyes were just huge, and she's like, let's go in the bathroom for a minute. So she went in, she came out crying, and she said he just went to the bathroom, and that was the first time in 15 years he had this sensation of what that felt like. So when you're talking about Gage, it's amazing what the body's given the right tools and what it can do. Right? It's just, it's an amazing situation, and we do now have a wheelchair accessible chamber, which is tent. which is awesome because we do have some clients that just can't get out of their wheelchairs. So we now have a wheelchair accessible that can roll right in and roll right out. Even though the funny thing is most of our wheelchair people that are in wheelchairs want to be taken out and put in the chamber so they can lay down and you know, it's all that stuff. But we do have that accessibility to that. And we have extended our hours as well too. So we want our listeners to know that we are now open. We're crazy at 6 o'clock in the morning. Hello. And we're taking...
That's late for me.
I know, it's late. It's crazy, but we have got so many clients that need to get in before work or that's what they're... So we have extended our hours.
If you'll open at 4, I'll come in at 4 every morning.
Okay, no.
No, okay.
Not yet anyway.
We
end up being a 24-hour Hyperbaric center. Jared, you wanted to say something?
No, well, the other nice thing experience too that Gage had going there is with your staff, they understand his needs, but they also understand that he has some abilities.
Yeah.
And so he comes in and says, okay, you know what to do, and he goes right back to the vibration plate and turns it on. You know, he knew what to do, and they didn't come on and baby him the whole time, which helps his growth also. So the staff does understand individual needs and helps when needed and stays back when not. So that was always a great experience of going there and allowing him to grow and also get the treatment that he needed. So
thank you. I appreciate it because we've got another client in there right now that you referred to us as well, and he's also 14 and he's very small, but he's sharp as a whip, and he doesn't want to be treated like a baby or want to be treated, you know, so we talk about his girlfriends and, you know, all that stuff, and he's just adorable. We love having him in there. So, again, great improvements with that. So, I know we're short on time. This time goes so fast every time. It's crazy. So I just wanted, and people, I'm sorry, I didn't say that we're Vibrant U Hyperbaric Oxygen and Light Center. I've had people going, say who you are during the show. But I am going to give our contact information. So here in St. George, we are at 352 East Riverside Drive, Suite A6. And in Salt Lake City, we are at 4885 South, 900 East, Suite 102. And we also have one in Riverton in Utah. So we've got 3 there, and we're working on opening some other centers. So if you would like to call and make an appointment, we definitely highly recommend making an appointment. The phone number is 435-218-7260, or you can go to our website, which is vibrantuutah.com. Again, that's vibrantuutah.com. We would love to have you come in. We love dealing with everybody. We love our people. Cancers, don't let anybody hold you back. You know what? We love the medical community. We work very well with the medical community, lots of referrals back and forth, but we want to make sure that people understand there is an alternative, and that we would love to have people come and talk to us about that alternative and see if we can possibly either enhance what your doctors are doing or give you another option.
Awesome. And one thing I want to note about your building, we actually parked in front, and it took me a minute to find it. So if you go swing around the right side of the building there at 352 East Riverside, then it's right there, and it's pretty easy to find. But we went the wrong way.
Thank you. Everybody gets lost the first time. It's a crazy, crazy building. But yes, come around by the United Hairline Salons and come down the little walkway. We're right there. Right
there on Riverside, just down from Culver's and that mechanic shop there. And it's an amazing, and no reason to be afraid like I was.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's we have other people that are a little bit afraid, but it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, Jared, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Nice to hear about the progress with your son, and
yeah, it's been helpful.
It's an amazing experience, and I need to go in and get that light back on my back. That was cool.
Yeah, you do.
Stephanie, thank you so much. Vibrant U Hyperbaric Oxygen and Light Center. Again, it's 352 East Riverside Drive, Suite A6. Which, like we just said, you go around the right side of the building there, and it's actually quite easy to find if you're not dumb like me and going the wrong way. And the phone number is 218-7260, and you have locations in Salt Lake and Riverton as well right now.
Salt Lake and Riverton right now, yep.
Very cool.
3 locations right now.
Jared, Stephanie, appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Awesome. You've been listening to the Vibrant Youth segment here on the Open Mic Show with Andy Griffin, and we've got to go to news.